He plays a lot like Baker Mayfield and sometimes like Zach Wilson, and not in a great way.
Betrayal scars, can't stop thinking about those stab wounds. We might not catch him today, but he gon' die soon.
Spencer Rattler is my favorite quarterback of this year's draft, and he should be yours as well. I'm not saying that he is going to be the best quarterback in this draft because we all know who that is, but I would say Spencer Rattler is my favorite quarterback because he has a lot of value, he has a lot of skill, and he's fun to watch. So with Spencer Rattler, the story for Spencer Rattler starts at Oklahoma, where he lost his job to none other than Caleb Williams, who should be the best quarterback in this draft. A lot of people know that story already, but if you don't know, Spencer Rattler was one of the highest recruited quarterbacks of his freshman class, and went to Oklahoma, who at the time had coach Lincoln Riley there. He was supposed to be, a phenomenal prospect, but he had a lot of struggles at Oklahoma, and he then lost his spot to Caleb Williams, who kind of took it and ran with it, and ran away with Lincoln Riley to USC. Now the story continues to mirror because Caleb Williams went to USC, Spencer Rattler went to the University of South Carolina, the East Coast USC. That's where a lot of this kind of ends because I would say Caleb Williams everyone knows who he is at this point as far as his play. USC, they have a lot of talent. Lincoln Riley is a very good offensive mind when it comes to coaching his offense and everything like that. And Spencer Rattler went to South Carolina with, I think, Shane Beamer. And there he was able to grow, albeit he's not as refined as Caleb Williams. And obviously, I can beat the dead horse. Caleb Williams is better. But when you look at Spencer Rattler, he lost his job to the best prospect in this draft. So, I mean, it makes sense. Like Caleb Williams deserved to have that job. Now, Spencer Rattler also did not handle his Oklahoma time all that well. I think he would tell you that. I think anyone could tell you that. But I have seen a lot of personal growth from Spencer Rattler, which to me illustrates a strong quality that he has bringing himself into the NFL. He is prepared to grind to get himself where he needs to be, and not just given this opportunity and see him squander it. With Spencer Rattler, obviously he's most likely not going to be a first round pick. I think he should be, honestly, but living in the draft sphere of everything, Spencer right now is a second round quarterback. I would say the reasons why I would say he's a first round quarterback, in my opinion, something where if a team wants to secure Spencer Rattler for that 5th-year option, teams can do kind of what they did with Lamar Jackson, trading up into like the last few picks of the first round just to secure that pick. Also happened to Teddy Bridgewater, obviously very different players there. But with Spencer Rattler, I think it's really worth it because Spencer Rattler is someone that has really high traits when it comes to throwing the ball, his accuracy. He's able to move around, he can move the pocket, and be on time with throws. With Spencer Rattler, obviously, he's not going to be your day one starter. I don't think anyone is expecting him to be that way. I don't think most rookies should be, but I understand that they kind of have to be in some circumstances. But with Spencer Rattler, he's actually one of the younger quarterbacks in this draft. The only ones that are younger for sure are J.J. McCarthy, Drake May, and Caleb Williams, who ended up taking his job. Everyone else, Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix, and Bo Nix, have a lot more tread on their tires when it comes to throwing. They played quarterback a long time to get to where they are at. Spencer Rattler, I would say probably count just a year less of having to get to where he is now. But with Rattler, there are a few teams that I think really fit him. I'm actually going to pull up his. I'm going to pull up NFL Draft Buzz because they have a good scouting profile of these quarterbacks. I was actually looking at Caleb Williams there, but Spencer Rattler, just to kind of go over these before I continue talking about the teams that might fit him really well. He is 6 foot one, I believe. I think is what he was measured at. So not the biggest, but um, he's got good acceleration there. This is kind of NFL draft buzzes kind of takes on him and everything like that. Um, I would say I don't necessarily agree with these player comparisons because the biggest ones I see is not Jaron Hall from BYU because I think that's more of the size profile and everything like that. He plays a lot like Baker Mayfield and sometimes like Zach Wilson and not in a great way. Um, sorry again. But they both play with a lot of confidence. When they have misses, it's obvious, but they can make a lot of hero plays that are phenomenal. And when they're on, and that's the kind of quarterback that you want to have on your team. But with Spencer Rattler, just to kind of give you some stuff to look at while I'm talking, I see a few different options for his second round, third round kind of bid. Here's Spencer Rattler's profile, so it has something for you to look at while I'm talking about him. But with Spencer Rattler, there are a few teams that I feel like could fit his draft stock in the second round. And I would say the biggest teams for that for me are the LA Rams, the Miami Dolphins, New Orleans Saints, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mainly because those teams have a starter in place, but they're either going to be wanting to have a high quality backup that they don't have right now, or they might want to have a grown talent kind of come into his own, situation down the road. Tampa Bay Buccaneers got Baker Mayfield right now. Very similar players. You would have, a similar offense from one quarterback to another. Baker Mayfield, you kind of have what he is already now. And with having Spencer Rattler come in, he would be able to be a cheaper option. That way you can kind of roll down those savings that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers need in the future. Miami Dolphins, that would be one where obviously it's Tua's job, but they need a quality backup for Tua just because Tua has had times where he's been injured. Also, New Orleans Saints, they lost Jameis Winston to the Cleveland Browns, and they are in need of a backup quarterback. I think Spencer Rattler would provide a higher floor than some of the other ones that are coming out in the draft now. Plus, they can, again, save money at that position if for some reason they need to move on from Derek Carr in the future. The LA Rams, they have Stafford. I think Stafford's going to be there for a few more years. But, kind of repeat myself, they need a high floor quarterback to be their backup. I think Sean McVay would be able to help Rattler in that position. We saw Baker Mayfield come in, have an amazing game his first week there. So, I think McVay would be able to have Rattler in that situation pretty good. And then the Arizona Cardinals, I think that's more because his hometown is Phoenix, Arizona. I think he would want to play for them. Obviously, Kyler Murray has his job. That's not in question. He's young. He's got a lot come through. But with Spencer Rattler there, if for any reason Kyler Murray has any setbacks with injuries and stuff like that, you would have Spencer Rattler there essentially. So I think those are teams that could not 100%, but I could see them looking at Spencer Rattler as a option in the second, maybe even third round if people are just going gung ho on wide receivers and cornerbacks in the second rounds like we're expecting them to. But with Spencer Rattler, again, not a bona fide NFL scout or anything. I'm leaning on a lot of people's opinions and just watching whatever tape I can get on YouTube because I'm balling on a budget here. But with Spencer Rattler, there's a lot to like. There's a lot of really strong traits. There's questions of, is he processing all of this, or is he just getting the ball to, he has a lot of really big wide receivers. So, is he just getting the ball there kind of deal. And so, obviously every rookie coming into the NFL is going to have his struggles, but I think the biggest thing about Spencer Rattler is his character growth from Oklahoma to South Carolina is one of the biggest green flags that I see in this draft. That's why he's my favorite quarterback. I want to root for this dude because obviously took the biggest L in Oklahoma, lost his job, you know, in a bad fashion too. He had, egg all over his face in that situation. Left town, kind of went to a place where no one really, no one really checked in on him at South Carolina as far as national media is concerned. And this year he had a phenomenal year. As far as his play go, he was kind of hamstrung with his offensive line, and really like I was watching the Clemson game and he had no time, and his checkdowns just could not catch the ball. Like they had Xavier Leggett as a halfback sometimes because their running backs could not catch a ball. And if you watch the Senior Bowl after the fact as well, um, his Senior Bowl performance was amazing because he had players block for him, and then if he needed to throw a check down, the player caught it and advanced the ball. Like you didn't see that at South Carolina this year. A lot of South Carolina was, these crossing routes, getting these players open, and having to make these contested catches because they just weren't getting open. So, Spencer Rattler, he's had a hell of a of a college experience, but I'm excited for what he's going to do in the NFL because I think he has a lot to prove, and I think he has the want to approve in that situation. Like I can see this dude coming in and taking someone's job within the next 2 to 3 years, and being a solid just distributor of the football and having all the throws in his belt. So that's my take on Spencer Rattler. Again, this is third and wrong. That's the forever warning is, we're wrong a lot of the time. But if you like this kind of content, we are still growing as a channel. Right now, I believe we have 145 subscribers. So, you can get on the ground level with this channel and support us, help us grow. If you can subscribe. Also, comment and like. We like to have conversations in our comment section. So do that real quick if you can. But that's my take on Spencer Rattler. Prepare to be rattled. Prepare to be rattled. And we'll see you all on the next one.